I'm live again. What happened? Hey, everybody, it's a little after 9 in the morning on Friday, 14th of April, and I was just pulling some dice I casted yesterday out of the mold, my resin resistant tray. And these are the Adrian's Undead Diary Trinity dice prototypes. This is like my fourth prototype casting now, to get a design that works really well. And if you were watching any of my live streams earlier when I was talking about the dice, I got little tiny Halligans made by a friend of mine, Aaron Starcher, who has got a bunch of 3D printers set up. And the first run we tried came out small. They're like little tiny ones, like tiny. And they just got lost in the dice. You couldn't see them at all. So he went back and he increased the size of them pretty considerably. And here we are. We're going to open them. I also tried out a slightly different casting color scheme to try something out, and I think one of these is going to be a winner. Good morning, Joni. Here we are. So for those of you who follow my Adrian's series, much better. 2 with blood's better, 2 without. You can see the Halligan's way better. So I don't think I timed the resin. Hey, Jerry, good morning. I just saw your post about you got 2 graduates. Congratulations, that's crazy. Anyway, so I don't think I timed the base resin properly on this because I was in the middle of a video chat with Anthony Castro, who's doing the Bad Wabbit comic book. I was giving him some insider information about Kickstarter. But anyway, I probably wasn't paying enough attention to get this perfect. But these will probably work for picture purposes. Oh, that's way better. That's cool. Halligans. If I can get the camera to pick up the detail on the Halligan. But here we are. I also put a silver swirl. Good morning, Shirley. For those of you in the chat, Shirley is one of my sisters. That's awesome. It came out really good. So I did 2 with blood inserts and then 2 without to kind of see which I liked. This one's really good. Is this from a 3D printer? The little Halligans that are in here were printed out on a 3D printer. These actual dice are made using molds that I created using master dice that were printed on a very high quality resin printer. So Halligans with blood. I'm going to post some spiffy pictures and put them in the Ring family group and see what people think, which ones they like. They're both pretty cool. Good morning, Beaver from YouTube. How's everybody doing today? So if you can see, the Halligans sank again. So they're like all on one side, right? Not so much this side, clear, but all over here. And that's because I didn't time the resin setting up appropriately. But they look good. They look really good. So we're in business. I'm going to take some pictures and post these. What's everybody else up to? We got a bigger crowd today than I thought we were going to get. Oh no, where's my phone? Here it is. So this is, I'm such a multimedia nerd now. I got this like streaming to multiple places and pictures and chatting and stuff, and it's crazy. Pardon me while I take photographs. I got my little camera here. my little light setup. I got this cool little sort of like ring light, like for streamers and stuff like that, but it's just a tiny one. And if I put it behind the computer, I get pretty good light. But when I'm painting or working on dice, the light's perfect because it's like a bright white kind of sunlight light. So it gives me a nice, authentic color. I got out of work 2 hours ago. You're going to bed. Oh, man, don't let me keep you up. I'm not that interesting. I worked third shift several times through my life, and I'm like a night owl by nature. So third shift wasn't that disruptive to me, but then like you try to go to bed at like 8 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and like the world is waking up and people are calling you, and it's so annoying. Which dice do we prefer for Trinity style? With blood? Question mark. Without blood? Question mark. Attach photos. Attach photos. Add more. Next. So yeah, we are marching forward on all projects. I did have a little bit of a snafu with the cover, the print cover for The Lost and the Found. Every time we load it in, it like defaults to this like gigantic, massive size. Like the display on the electronic proof like literally shows like the spine of the book and the bottom interior corners for some reason, and we're on our third attempt to fix it, and the file should be perfect. We have no idea what's going on, but we're sorting that out right now. It's one of the reasons why working with a professional artist is helpful, because if I had to do this on my own, everybody would just be getting a white blank book cover. Done. 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 Please vote. Time is a factor. Bam. All right, so these are going up over. Morning, Yoka. These are, I just posted actual pictures of these over in the Ring Family group on Facebook, which is my fan club. So if you want to get a better look at these, head over there. I don't know, the blood effect's really cool. I'm not sure. I will let you decide. Pretty badass, actually. Oh, let's go over to Facebook on here. Ring Family and stuff. Anybody got any good news they can share this morning? The weather here is beautiful. It's going to be like 85 today. It's like 70 right now. Really nice day. Why is the picture not showing? Where did my picture go? Is it taking that long to load? What the heck? Jerry, I realized I missed a book purchase of AUD somehow. And I bought it. I feel like I need to start over. Aw. It's funny because like when I talk to people who have read AUD or listened to it, the amount of people who go through twice is like pretty crazy, like shocking to me for, whatever reason. But when they go back through, they wind up finding things that they missed on the first, pass through. And there are people who like are on their like third or fourth listen and read through, and they keep finding more stuff. And I love that about, going back and experiencing a story that you really liked the first time, because you literally see different aspects of the story. Oh my God, my selfie cam's on. That's terrifying. No one wants to see my face. Posting more follow-up pictures on that thread. Stop showing my face. Why is my camera looking at me anyway? My ass is terrifying. And I dropped it. So, I was saying on probably like all of my recent live streams that AUD is wrapping up again. And what that basically means is, when I finished book 8, I was done. Like I had been writing AUD pretty much daily for, about 2 years. And there's like, what was the number? I just calculated it. 2,784 pages of written material in about 2 years, which is like mind numbing. And in terms of total words, it's like, I think I had that written down too. Me and my spreadsheets. I got so many spreadsheets. Page and word count. Traffic analysis. Birthdays. Adrian's March. Page and word count. Anyway, I was just burnt. There it is. 871,000 words. Almost 1 million words in AUD. Anyway, I was fried when I got to the end of what is now Cassie. I was done, and I just had to stop because it had been inside my head and was taking up too much space, and I was just tired, and I needed a break. And at the end of book 8, it says the end. And at the time, I completely meant it to be the end. That's it. No more ever. And I went on and I started writing, the Elmoran series, and I was writing Tesser as well because I just needed to keep writing because I love writing. Morning, Sean. Good news, military base 10 miles around started to force fire. Oh, nice. Military bases, always destroying things. And I meant the end. And then, people kept asking for more and asking for more. And I was like, nah, I did that. And, probably about 2 years after Cassie happened, I wanted to do like the Tales stuff to like expand little pockets and like keep the flow going. So I started to do some of those novellas, and I did the anthologies, which was really fun because I got to expand the world without having to like jump all the way back into it. And then, people kept asking, well, what happens next? What happens next? What happens next? And enough people started to ask, the creative juices started to flow. And over the course of, probably 6 months, I have my little notebooks. Actually, I have a couple here right now. I can show you, but they're like, I have these little notepads, and they're like all over the place. But I have something I want to write down. I just grab one and I write it, and I toss it on my desk. Good morning, Keith. And the idea for what became Adrian's March, slowly formulated. And, without giving too much away, at the end of Cassie, if you haven't read that series, at the end of Cassie, you get closure. It is the end, and it could end there and be fine. But there's seeds of what the future could be left there. And that was, what was going to be, what was written about no matter what, because that was the most obvious thing to write. And then once I had like an overall idea of what Adrian's March could be, then my brain got excited. Oh, okay, cool. I can have that scene. I can have that scene, and this person can come in, and that person can come in, and so on and so forth. And it was only originally supposed to be 3 or 4 books, which would have been like AUD 9 through 12 or something like that. So 14 comes out in 14 days. And we probably only got one more book after this one. And it'll be the end again. Now, based on my history of putting the end at the end of AUD books, there's a 50-50 chance it'll actually be the end. But what'll happen is, good morning, Leslie. Good morning, Brandon. How you doing, Georgia? There's going to have to be a break between the next book, the final book of whatever AUD is, and then the next AUD, if there is consistent demand and I wind up creating a story. I have some ideas, but I don't have enough. I can't focus enough attention on an entire multi-book arc until I wrap one up, right? Like I can't start adding in like massive stuff to like my organizational brain until I wrap up this plot, right? So it's going to take me months and months and months to sort that out. So after whenever the next AUD book drops, hopefully before the end of the year, after that one, there's going to be a break, probably a year or two before I can gestate it and then write it and then get it out. So if I find that energy. In the meantime, though, I've got the Diggory series, which is doing pretty well, and people really like it. Diggory's got a lot of the same kind of like intensity that the Adrian character has. So a lot of the people who have been going from AUD to Diggory are really digging it. Ha 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 ha, digging it. And it's fun because it's set in a fictional town that's close to where I live. On the New Hampshire and Vermont border. So I get to like use my surroundings as inspiration, which is really fun. And it feels very distinctly New Englandy. So if you dig books like that, check those out. And then I've had a lot of people asking recently if I was going to expand the Reemergence series and add more books to Tesser. And once I wrap this book, I need to write the next Diggory. And then in my spare time, I'm going to try and write out a synopsis for like maybe 2 more Reemergence books and then pitch them off to Audible to see if Audible's interested in doing audio for it. And if so, I'll probably add a couple of those. Leslie, your friendly read the first Diggory book and loves it. Good. Tell them I said thank you. It's a fun book. It's like wacky and weird, and Diggory's snarky and kind of a smart ass, and he's, I like writing deeply flawed characters, and he's a shit show. He's just a mess. Like the guy, he needs more medication big time. So possibly more Reemergence, definitely more Diggory. And then I have an idea for a new post-apocalyptic series that is just in like the notes stage. But I hung out with my buddy Chris Fagan. So Chris Fagan is a character in AUD. He has a character named after me. He's the guy who winds up getting trapped with his family in the sex toy store, the porn shop. And he's a great guy. He's awesome. He's a good friend of mine. And he and I hung out the other night and we went out to dinner. And I was like, all right, here's my idea for a potential new series. And he was jazzed. Like I told him, I pitched him the basic synopsis and he was like, dude, that sounds fantastic. Like, okay, have you thought of this? Have you thought of that? Have you thought of this? And we just like riffed back and forth for like 45 minutes. And he solved one of the plot problems that I kind of had based on the premise and was like, well, what if you do this? And I was like, oh man, that's really good. I hadn't thought of that. And then sort of reworked stuff to fit his suggestion. And I think I have a pretty viable series idea. There's still some more details that need to be fleshed out, but again, I can't really get into that until I wrap up the stuff that I'm working on right now. But I'll be talking about that hopefully by summer. Things doing pretty good down here in Georgia. Brandon, I have so many projects you're working on. Thanks, man. Keep posting those pictures, man. Your photography is awesome. But yeah, I'll be talking about that. I'm still trying to work up a name. I have like 5 or 6 names for series and book title, and I don't know which I want as the series and which I want as the book title, or if I want to like use the ideas that I have as inspiration and kind of take it in a different direction. Who knows? A lot to think about. Right now, for the next 2 weeks, I need to really focus on the Kickstarter. Oop, we got a new cover. All right. Ellen just sent me a new cover. Download that cover. Yes, I want to replace the old one. Let's see if we can get it loaded. So if I suddenly get like fuzzy or whatever, it's because I'm downloading a massive PDF and then uploading a massive PDF. So if I get all pixely, that's why. Okay, upload cover file. Uploading. Tell you, this may take a minute. No shit. You're welcome, Brandon. But this is like what my day goes like, minus me talking into the camera. It's like files coming in, files going out, stuff to do, stuff to do. I don't know which one of these dice I like. Being that I only have two, I probably need to cast more so I can take cool pictures, because I need to show three on the Kickstarter so people know what three look like. Not that you can't count, but you know, whatevs. Nope. I just gave myself, clicked on a link notifying me that I went live, and I just saw myself talking live on the computer, and I think I had an aneurysm. Which is it? Which is it? Anybody else got good news? Minus the forest fire? Anything? Three is more than two last time. You don't narrate your day-to-day activities. I talk to myself an alarming amount. Like it's crazy. Partially because like I feel like I have someone else in the room to like bounce ideas off of. Also, when I'm editing, I what I'm editing out loud to myself, because our brains function differently when we're just reading to digest information versus reading to like dictate. So I catch more of my like weird wordings and weird um, spellings or dropped words. The bane of my existence is dropped words, because spell check doesn't find it, and editors routinely miss dropped words. And dropped words happen where you're like typing, right? And you're halfway through a sentence and like your phone rings and you look over and you come back and your brain thinks you typed the word and you didn't. And then you just pick up the word after, and you know, there's just a word missing in the sentence. But your brain says it's fine. And sometimes sentences still make sense with missing words and it doesn't flag, you know, you don't get that red line. Keith, what would you imagine your day to day theme music to be? The Benny Hill theme song, I would say, is probably most accurate. Um, I would say, just, you know, on brand. Also, you know, I've been listening to a lot of stuff. I have Spotify that I get my music from, right? And Spotify has the new AI DJ where it's literally a DJ that talks to you, and they play stuff that's like uniquely suited just, you know, for you based on what you've listened to and your hobbies, and it like explains to you why why it's playing stuff, and it's pretty cool. Like I feel like I got a DJ in the room with me, and I've been listening to that, but then it plays like everything you've ever listened to, right? So like it plays like Johnny Cash, and then segues to Skrillex, and then bounces back to Nickelback, and jumps over to Enya. Like it's literally everything you've ever listened to, and that's the soundtrack of my day right now, which is fun. I do like that, having a variety. Okay, we got one vote for blood, one vote without blood. All right, narrowing it down. Maybe not. So I started to prep all of the files for Diggory 3 this morning, which was pretty cool. I try to write as close to the finished like product as possible, so I'm not, you know, going back in and having to relay out and relay out and relay out and fix things and do whatever. And you know, that's cool. So it was fall. Christmas, this would be spring. So Diggory is written like AUD is, where you have Diggory's journal entries that he's keeping, basically because he, you know, his therapist said that keeping a journal would make him feel better or something like that. And he's doing the best he can to, you know, stay sane by doing that. And then interspersed with that, I have what I call in the series as interludes. And the interludes are scenes or, exchanges that feature another character and their point of view. So similar to how the side fictions, the short stories in AUD kind of expand the universe, when the interludes pop up, you get to see the story through the perspective of a different character. And sometimes it's through, one of Diggory's friends. Not that he has many, but, he's got a couple. And other times it is through the eyes of people who are quote unquote villains. So you get to see kind of like behind the curtain of evil in that time, all over the place. Spotify does have great podcasts, Nyoka. We used Pandora before Spotify, and I didn't like the way their playlists were organized, and we got a really good family deal that we share. So the file is still uploading. How big is this file, bro? Book files covers at least, are notoriously large. 9.7 megs. That's pretty big. The entire interior file is 3 megs. Just the cover image is almost 10, 3 times as much data. Pandora's suggestions were really good. I remember wanting, after I switched to Spotify, I remember going back to Pandora to find the new stuff. I'd play something that I really liked and then suggest more or but Spotify's kind of caught up with that now, so it's pretty good. Interesting. That's good. I've been futzing with ads a little bit more the last couple weeks, tweaking how they look, how they display, and targeting and stuff like that. And there's 10,000 settings that you can adjust, and I've done multiple webinars on how to set up ads. And Facebook ads are nothing like Amazon ads. So what you learn to make a Facebook ad or a meta ad, for Instagram and Facebook, none of that applies to Amazon. And in fact, in many cases, it's the exact opposite thing. So every time I sit down to adjust ads, I have to completely reset, my expectations and thoughts. Okay, so on this platform, I need to change X, Y, and Z, and so on. Shirley, brother, how is everyone doing? Send my love. Everyone's pretty good right now. The kids are crazy. They're 5 and Willow turns 7 this weekend, and they're just crazy. Sisters trying to murder each other 24/7. But they're fun. They're a lot of fun. Leah's good. She has today off. She's off gallivanting with her friends, trying to rejuvenate before summer hits us. So we're middle of April. The kids' last day of school's in June, mid-June. But we're well. We're good. We're healthy. Everyone's feeling good. We're broke, but who isn't? Thanks, Anthony. I'll pass on that you said happy birthday. But we are well. We are well. Need more time to breathe, though. Where Leah took a day off, and that's a pretty rare occurrence around here. I don't even know the last time I took a day off to just have a day off. A mental health day, if you will. I don't know why that's not displaying. Upload the file. Upload the file. Probably slowing it down because I'm live streaming. Shooting myself in the foot. What's everyone else reading or listening? Anthony, will you be joining us on the Book Asylum this Saturday? I don't think I can. I think you guys are going on at 3, and we are taking the girls to Boston at like 10 or something like that. And more than likely we'll still be in the city or coming back from the city. If I have time, I'll try to jump on, but it's unlikely that I'll have the time. I saw that they're going to be talking about crowdfunding, which is like my jam now, but I don't think it'll work out. Weekends are tough because the kids are home and we make plans. Like we try to fill our weekends with stuff to do, and especially this time of year because both girls' birthdays are March and April, and like my wife can't do a simple birthday party because she like loves to celebrate, which means our birthday parties are lit. But it's like a 2-week process of build up for her where she like buys all the decorations, buys all the presents, buys all the like she buys the kids outfits to wear. Like there's like 70 different steps for her, and it's very amazing and it's awesome, and she's a fantastic mom. But there's, like I said, there's a build up. So our time in April and March and April is booked up pretty heavily, pretty quickly. Once we get to May, things chill. May and June are usually awesome for us. And then, summer's here and then the kids are home all summer long. And then we're doing stuff with that. Working on the Kickstarter. Does anybody have any questions about anything while we're sitting here? There's 12 of you watching right now. Mid-morning on a Friday. Omega Days. It's Omega Days. I've never heard that expression before. Is anybody watching anything fun or reading or listening to anything fun? Peter Klein's The Resort? Which one's The Resort? I don't think I read that. Oh, the book. Yep. I gotcha. I thought you were saying Omega Days in relation to me talking about summer. I was like, is that an expression? Yeah, the kids are home. It's Omega Days. Oh, shit. Kids have no school today. Poor Abigail. So the big ones are keeping the little ones entertained for me and laying bed. Holy guacamole. Big one's doing good things. My big one usually just runs out of patience and starts beating on the little one. Bentley Little. Classic stuff. You can do AUD again. See? More people. More AUD again. I just read this. It's like this freaking nature that was just sitting on the desk because I finished it yesterday. But this was really good. Extreme Survival by Michael Togus. Togus? He actually gives a pronunciation guide in the back. Togus? Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? About the author. Yeah, whatever. But it's he basically goes through like 50 different survivors who lived through like really crazy circumstances that people should have died from, and he talks about things that they did that helped them survive, right? So like habits or decisions or how they made decisions or certain things that contributed, and like across all 50 there's a lot of shared like patterns of behavior that saved them. And it's just really interesting because he basically talks about like people in crisis and how they figure it out. So that was fun. Just started watching Beef. Beef is really good. We just finished it the other day. It's really good. We have become A24 fans. So A24 is a movie and television production studio that makes quirky and irreverent and kind of like, I guess, indie feeling movies and TV shows, but they have a weird intensity to them. And they do like horror, they do drama, they do like even comedies and stuff. So like it's a little irreverent, a little strange, but they're usually like really smart movies. So I mean, if you look up A24 and like look at the list of movies, they have a ton of really big stuff that's come out the last few years, but they're pretty consistent across the board with what their movies feel like. Beef is an A24 TV show. What's the one on HBO? Oh, they have another TV show, HBO series about teenagers. Euphoria. Euphoria was an A24 show on HBO, and that was fantastic. Like, just amazing how they did The Consultant on Prime. I haven't watched it. I don't think I've read the book either. Is there going to be anything book to go with the phone? Another book to go with the phone? The third book in the series? I really, really, really want to write it. I know what it's about. I have the outline for it. The issue with the Dry Earth series is Audible purchased the rights to the first two, and they didn't really perform. They just didn't really sell at all, partially because of the pen name, and people who follow my writing under my name, my author name, didn't get any of the notifications that I quote unquote had released a new book. And I did a bunch of research on how to promote a pen name, and I followed all the big tips and hints and stuff, but it didn't do anything. Like I didn't get any traction at all. And it didn't really get any marketing or promotion initially. So it just kind of fell flat. And the narrator for the Dry Earth series, thank you. UPS just dropped off. The narrator for that series is like just book solid, Bailey. And getting her to record it for me independently would be really, really, really hard. Like I don't even know if I could afford her because she does a lot of like YA stuff and is like a premier narrator. So like I need to somehow talk Amazon Audible into buying the rights to the third book, and then getting them to book her and then pay for the narration, because it really isn't worth it to write the third book other than to like finish it, because it just didn't sell, and it still doesn't sell. Like if I run my sales report right now, I'd be surprised if it had any revenue generated. But it's such a fun series. It's so good. So disappointing that it didn't do more. Month to date. ASIN. Has the phone made any money? Load the data. Load the data. Oh, it did. I sold one copy of the phone this month and one copy of the Nexus. So I've sold one of each. And I don't know what the audio sales look like, but it's usually in the teens per book per month, which isn't really any money at all. They were good books. They were very good. Hey, Nawa. The Righteous Gemstones. Well, now I got to look it up. Righteous Gemstones. Danny McBride. Okay, I'm in. Yeah, Danny McBride's fun. He's a fun guy. Definitely an acquired taste for some people. So it's still uploading this book cover. Maybe the page is hung up. Let's jump into another screen here. Sometimes it says it's still loading, but then if you go into the screen on another tab, it's fully loaded already. Save successful, and doesn't look like it's changed. Poop. Have a good day, Jerry. Nice to see you. I don't think you've been in many of my lives. Have a good meeting. It's probably good enough to just to have been an email. That was awful English. Probably could have just been an email. I'm a writer, not a speaker. I'll leave that be for a couple more minutes. Hello, Ryan. You're like herpes with my lives, man. Can't get rid of you. I only say that because I love you. So if it's IT, yeah, definitely could have been an email. So I said yesterday I did a little brief video that some of the prices changed on the Kickstarter. Got another without. We got another without. So seems like people like without a little bit more so far. Yeah, so I changed a couple of the prices on the Kickstarter, which is kind of cool. The most notable ones were the half set and full sets of hardcovers went up a couple bucks because of the way shipping works out, and the book printer is very, very kind and very sweet, and the customer service there is very good. But they're basically like, we don't know how to give you a number because we don't know what facility they'll be printed at yet, because there's two facilities that could be the actual like printing center, and one of them isn't fully operational yet, but probably will be by the time I get to ordering the books. And if I have to order the books before that facility is up and running, then they have to ship from the UK, which is, shipping is more obviously because it's coming overseas, but not that much more. But the issue is book 3 is so damn heavy that because it's like 150 pages longer than all the others, that the orders that have book 3 in it are going to cost way more than the orders that have the other books in it. And they're like, well, until we know exactly how many of what, like we can't tell you because we don't know how much the boxes are going to weigh. And then furthermore, they don't know what center they're going to print at because they're opening a US facility in April, which is like the next 2 weeks. So it's pretty likely that they'll be printed right here and then shipped via like UPS ground, in which case, or possibly like it might be freight because I could be ordering a lot of these books. In which case the shipping won't be that much at all, and I don't have to sweat it too much. But like, they're talking about FedExing me 600 books from England. It's not gonna be cheap. But the quality is fantastic. So good. You wanted paperbacks or hardcovers? Cute. The hardcovers are so cool. Hold on, I'm gonna go grab one. I got my Bluetooth headset on. So like, for those of you who have seen the paperbacks, you know that it's different, right? But these are like silky. Good morning, Josh. It's a matte, not a gloss jacket. So it has that kind of velvety feel, right? Like feels prestigious. And then, the jacket comes off, right? And this is called Vibralin Black, right? And I'm not getting a foil stamp on these ones. I might actually wind up switching it to foil stamp because it's only like $1 or $2 more a book. And it might be really nice to have book 1 a little fancier. But then, the interior, right? It's all pretty and stuff. And I added a little bit different art to the inside, like those little Otis ornamental breaks now. And it's just cool. Like I got bigger Halligans, so they look prettier. Oh, just went by one. Let's see. Phil's story. And as I was saying, these are what I'm calling the author's preferred edition. So you can see it's not just AUD Dark Recollections. It says author's preferred edition. And what I'm doing is I'm going in and I'm fixing some of the spelling mistakes that have been in there for a while, and like wordings and stuff. Like they tell you not to use passive voice when you're writing, and there's a lot of passive voice early on, and it's primarily Adrian, but like it could just be written better now. So I'm going back in and I'm fixing it and I'm making it punchier and I'm taking out some of the redundancies where he repeats himself, kind of needlessly. And there's extra entries that got omitted from the print version, the original print and ebook version. And I went back in and I'm inserting those back into the story, which, these were parts that originally appeared on the website. So, and in addition to being, pretty new covers and hardcover and all that jazz, I put the maps back in. So you got the Alpa map and then the Auburn Lake map. And then I'm also putting in the old covers in color, right? So you'll get to see like the gestation of the series. And then in the other books in the series, there, the covers are in there as well. But I'm also doing like concept art sketches. Like I have stuff that's never seen the light of day, like test covers that we did that didn't pass muster, and like the merch designs that I have. So like, the Bad Worse shirt. I have like the original pitch concept arts from the original artist, where you can see like how, we evolved through. And I'm just putting that in because like this is a really great place to put it, right? Because I don't want to like put out a whole other book of just like concept art and do a money grab to get more money. But like if you're going to shell out the money for a hardcover because you want to collect it or have the special version, like let's put some cool stuff in it and make it extra worth it. Exit the struggle zone. The whole world is a struggle zone, Brandon. Next time I get down to Georgia, I'll bring you gifts. I want to get to Atlanta again. OG website. What's up, Kirby? Hey, Jamie. The foil stamp would look nice. The thing, like for me, like the foil stamp would be under the pretty jacket, right? So the only way you'd know it is if you took the jacket off, and then it's like, well, why am I getting the jacket, right? But it's not that much more money, I don't think. So, and if we're talking a difference of like $1 a book, like yeah, that's worth it. I'll eat that dollar, and then watch me sell like 20,000 of them, and then I get to eat $20,000 in cost. But if I sell 20,000 of them, I'll be able to afford the buck. Okay, we have one more for Without Blood. Thanks, Cliff. You're actually in the chat right now, Cliff. Thank you. I appreciate that. Bye, 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 bye. And then once the Kickstarter is fulfilled, right? Once I have all the books, get them signed, packaged, and sent out to the people on the Kickstarter, once everybody has their stuff and has had the chance to get it first, I'm going to change the cover art. So on the back here, the Kickstarter version will be clean, just like this, right? There will be just picture. And on the retail version that people will be able to buy in stores, there will be a barcode here, actually probably here, right? There'll be a barcode and then an MSRP. And the Kickstarter version will be the only version that does not have that image, the barcode. So what you get on the Kickstarter will be even more quote unquote collectible. But then all those books are going to wind up on retail, right? So when you go to buy anything on Amazon, let's say, or Barnes & Noble or in a bookstore, it'll, right now you go to the page and it says, do you want Kindle? Do you want audio? Do you want paperback? And now they offer like a leather bound edition, which is like $85 a book, something absurd. And if that's, if you go to the page to look at that, there will also be hardcover that'll show up. So, oh, my wife's here. Aren't you supposed to be at the beach with your friends, causing mayhem and discontent? Yeah, 20,000 copies. I'm so hopeful. This has been a very, very risky project because it's expensive. Like it costs a lot of money to relaunch this stuff, because like each one of these book covers costs me about $400, and I had to buy 8 of them, right? And I'm re-releasing a book that's been out for 12 years now. So just releasing it in hardcover and hoping for the best after spending, $3 or $4 grand is scary, right? Because like I don't know if I'll ever make that money back. So with the Kickstarter, I can find the people who definitely want a copy ahead of time and get them their copy and kind of offset the cost of doing it. But yeah, like I gotta hope that it does fairly well on the Kickstarter. You can't hear me because you're standing in an ocean coffee shop. Oh, surrounded. But I'm going to guess you're talking about how much you love me. Oh, I do love her. I did. Well, you can't hear me, but I literally, can I respond to her? How does this work? I did say you were an awesome mom earlier and a fantastic partner. So, boom. Gotcha. And yeah, please enjoy your day off. Please, please, please. The file is still uploading. Man, I want to be able to order my proof today. It's +2. See more. I've never seen that before. Uploading. Never takes this long. Something's wrong. Probably something's wrong. All right, let's try again. Continue setup. Content. What a pain in the buttski. Oh, you know what I can do? This might be really fun. Present. Share screen. Share. Womp. Look. You're behind the scenes. The wizard pulled back the curtain. So you can see all the different choices you can make. And you can see what the cover's doing right there, right? It's literally showing me the spine and like the bottom corners. Upload. Print cover. Print. Nope, that's the wrong file. Cancel upload. Cancel upload. Cancel upload. Launch previewer. I think I got to do that first anyway. Cover uploaded successfully. Although I loaded the wrong file, so Oh, thanks, Patty. That's my hope. So at this point where it says preparing files, it's proofing it, like the AI, the algorithm for the printer is making sure that everything is functioning properly. But I'm pretty sure I loaded the wrong file. So it's gonna kick back and then I'll look at the visual proof and then there we're at. Beep boop, beep boop. After I get off here, I'm gonna try and pour some more, I think Locky dice. No, I'll probably do the Trinity dice based on what people vote. Yeah, totally wrong cover. Look at that. You can see I loaded the print cover. Whoops. Just kidding, everybody. Exit print previewer. Giant like red line that's like, oh no, you screwed up. Let's try again. Upload your cover file. Print cover. There we go. Well, bam. Anywho, yeah, I think the answer is going to be for the Trinity dice, the without blood. The blood effect's really easy to do. Like it's consistently easy to do, but it takes away from the Halligans, I think. And Trinity, if the Trinity is supposed to be good, maybe having blood in their dice is not the best idea. But if somebody wants this design as their specific custom dice, if they get the custom dice tier, I can absolutely do that for them. We'll see. We'll give it another couple of hours to get some votes collected. Cover uploaded successfully. Holy guacamole. So yeah, it was absolutely hinked up earlier. So once it goes from processing your file there in the middle, cover uploaded successfully, processing your file, and then it's like going back into the production end of it to overlay it to see if it works again. And this is the third or fourth iteration. Oh, if the dice were just for the warden. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. If I was going to do warden, though, I would get little shields, like little resin shields to put in. And then maybe blood around the shield. That would be pretty badass. Come on, processing your file. What's really, I did it again. What the hell? Why? Why is it doing that? I may have to escalate this to customer service. Yeah, that ain't gonna do it. Yep. What's really funny is this book, they don't flag as being wrong at all. And if you look down in the corner over here, it says no issue selected. This gigantic goddamn issue. Stupid. And there we are. I get to email Alan. This happened with the last book too, but we were able to fix it like immediately. And we don't know why initially. And yet here we are. Blah, 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 blah. So that like derails my entire day. Because now I can't order the proofs. Womp, 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 womp. So much for AI. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. This is only the second time this has ever happened, and it's happened 2 books in a row. So I'm not positive what's causing that issue. Because like when you put your file stats into the system, it generates a template, right, for what the cover looks like. So then you just lay your art on the template, have everything line up according to the template, and then remove the template as a layer, and you have art that fits what they say will fit the book. So you use the template, lay everything all down, and then load it in, because that's literally the specs that they said, and that's what the file is. Like if you overlay the template over that picture, it's right. Can't wait for the Kickstarter. What lucky sad one. Oh, I announced the winners. Well, at least 4 of the winners. Nomad from YouTube, Amanda Rhodes, Abigail Hutton, and Joshua Clemens, all 1 dice. But I think I might have more to give away too. I gotta finish up because I'm gonna have these Trinity prototypes that I'm gonna do something with too. It's Friday. Yeah, Amazon Web Services. Josh reached out to me already. And Abigail, you reached out to me. Amanda, I should send her a harassing message. Where are you? There you are. This is my professionalism. Caps lock. You won dice. Give me your address. Homie. That's all in caps lock. Lucky bastards. I know, right? What else are we watching? Yellow Jackets season 2. We watched the first two episodes of that. That was good. The first season was really good. Second season doesn't seem to be quite as good, but that was really good. Yeah, we're renting this year, so we don't have a garden. And even if we had a garden, we'd screw it up. Neither of us are gardener people, though we really love the idea of being gardener people. But my wife has a ton of plants upstairs, so second seasons are, there's usually a drop off every once in a while. Jasmines. Lilacs are my jam. I love lilacs, and lilacs grow here like crazy. Purple lilacs specifically purple lilacs are the New Hampshire state flower, and I love them. I love the smell of lilac. Later, Beaver. Good night. Get some rest, man, or woman. You're good at killing plants too. Yeah. So which leg is it? I got this tattoo here on my leg, not that one, but it's the flowers of my nationalities. And I got to add some because I recently found out that I have more nationalities than my parents told me. But one of the flowers is the purple lilac to represent my home state of New Hampshire. But the lilacs are about to bloom. They bloom in late April, May here. And I'm so excited because even though we're renting, right, we have some property that comes with the house, and right outside the front door, there's like literally a 15 or 20 foot tall lilac. And it's probably going to have like 60 blossoms on it. It's going to smell so nice. Tomatoes. I love tomatoes. I eat tomatoes like candy. Hi, Nicole. Where have you been? Driving. Pre-orders for book 14 are pretty good. Not too shabby. I'm not a big pre-order author. When I first started, they didn't even offer pre-orders. And then once they started to offer pre-orders, I didn't really see the sense in doing it. Now because I can offer like a 30 or 40 day window ahead of time for when I know books are ready. Now I put them up. But like I don't, whatever. I don't really push into it, but it's nice to know that people are seeing it, talking about it, pre-ordering it, and getting a little bit of steam. Getting ready to go outside and spread manure in the garden beds, living the dream. We're actually talking about gardens right now, Nicole. How perfect is your timing? I want 14. 14 soon. 2 weeks to the day. Kindle drops. Print will probably be before that if we can sort out this friggin' book cover issue. If we can. We will, somehow. You work during the day and in and out. You missed a few live streams. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. Don't worry about that at all. See, here I am talking to myself, pretending it's you. It's just like Adrian, right? Where he's venting all of his psychological damage, hoping the computer will give him some kind of guidance. Spoiler alert, Mr. Journal. No advice to be gotten. How can I show that? Adrian's art files. How do I get that to show up in a browser window? Oh, I know what I can do. I can jump over here. So the Mr. Journal stickers are going to be part of the Kickstarter, and they're on order, and they should be here like Monday. But I haven't been able to show that many people what they look like because I don't want to just like show mock-ups to everybody and then have the sticker show up and have them not look like the mock-ups. But designs, show more, There we go. Bam. But I'll share here. I do a lot of my art futzing on Canva because it's really easy to use for me. And with the pro license, you get some really good rights for the art. You can use it. Haven't been in New Hampshire in so long. Yeah, I'm sorry we didn't hook up the last time you were driving through. The kids just, I forget what was going on, but it just didn't work out. Tangential. Get a layout with the Facebook. Get a layout with the Facebook and YouTube chat on screen. I can add comments. In order to get the chats to show, I think I have to upgrade the account I have on StreamYard here, and it's already like $20 a month just to do this. And I think the next step up is like $80 a month. And like I don't make any money on YouTube, so like that would just be like money in the toilet. But let me share this, see if I can shut that because that's gonna get confusing and stuff. Bam! So that's what the Mr. Journal sticker is going to look like. And that that heavy black circular line around it is bleed. So, you know, when we're talking about printing and you're talking about die cutting, you want the image to be bigger than the size of the label. That way, if there's any like float as it moves, there's space, right? And it won't look too bad. So that big black circle is enough margin of error called bleed. It bleeds over, that there'll always be a black circle around. And they had it set up so the die cut will be right in the dead center of the black. So when the stickers arrive, it'll be right there. But and it says Mr. Journal right there, and it's got the little smiley face, and it says Adrian's Undead Diary, literally. So those are what the stickers will look like. And they're going to be on 4mm weatherproof vinyl. So they'll be suitable for like water bottles or bumper stickers or laptop sticker, like anything. You can put on anything, as opposed to paper ones. I did the old Hell Gauge stickers, the little round ones. I think they're 1.5 inches across, and I just got them done on like gloss paper, and people were slapping them on stuff that they weren't going to last, you know, like they were like putting it on, you know, again, like a water bottle or you know, something that's going to get beaten up, and they were, you know, they just get scratched off. They're, you know, no more durable than the little stickers you get in, you know, like a little kid's sticker package. Always feels like he's writing by hand. Yeah, I debated stylistically trying to do like cursive, right, as a font, but it just looked really weird. And he's supposed to be typing in the computer, right? Like having the power to power the computer is part of the story. So if I put handwriting in, it kind of takes away from the idea that it's you need bumper stickers for your van. I sent you a package, Nawel, a while ago of stickers and goodies and stuff like that. So hopefully it's about there. Or your Argentinian customs people are opening letters and stealing. I hope not. I sent international signature package out to Australia on the same day I sent yours, and the Australian one only just arrived like last week. So clearly it takes a very, very long time to mail letters. Yeah, customs. Well, they got to make their money somehow, right? Government's going to govern. It sucks. So yeah, that's where we're at. And I got to go get the girls here in like an hour and a half. So they have a half day today. I want to check on this post here, see if anybody's got a vote. Oh, you know, I'm sitting here. I got stuff I can do. So I got a buddy who ordered a set of dice, and I poured a test set. Well, I poured a set, hoping that it would come out good, but again, I didn't time the resin correctly, and the effect I was going for didn't happen. So I re-poured, opening another die. I poured another set, and those are here as well. So hopefully these are better than the other set. Yeah. Cut the edge in the eating addiction. Welcome to my life. My entire life. My mother showed love with food. So now, if I want to feel loved, my brain's like, go eat something. You'll feel really good after you eat that. But I never do because I eat too damn much. It actually came out pretty cool. I had extra resin cast from the last one, the last set of stuff I did, and I just poured it in the mold here, right? So it's silver and then black, and then in the top there's like a hollow space with gold flake, like a geode. Pretty cool. I hate just pouring the resin in the trash. Like, I might as well pour it in a mold and have something to show for it. I can always give it away rather than throw it away, right? So, ta-da! These look better. So it's a clear base with gold flake floating around in it. So, you know, elegant. And then I injected swirls of black, so it has like wispy cloudiness in it. But the wispy clouds all sank to the bottom. And instead of being like wispy clouds, it was like black flooring tile. You know, you'd think somebody would want them, but I have so many sets of dice here that I've made that nobody wants. It's crazy. And like, I give them away too. Like, I don't even charge that much for them, relatively speaking. Some of the like prestigious handmade dice makers online charge ludicrous amounts of money for their sets. Now, granted, some of the dice they make are literally like museum quality pretty. Mine aren't. Mine are nice, but they're not that level. But like, you know, I charge a fair amount, and they're pretty expensive even from me, but some people charge hundreds of dollars for a set of 7 dice, which is, you know, too rich for my blood. But it's fun that I get to make them for people. That's cool. I like doing that a lot. Yeah, it's really cool. You know, it's like a, I don't know, like I know a lot of people who get a different set of dice made for each of their characters, right? So they, you know, they get the colors of how they imagine the character, or they get, you know, inclusions inserted into the dice that are representative of, you know, spells or weapons they use. So their dice are custom to the character. I mean, I have a set of dice that I only use for one character that I made for myself. There we go. Much better. What is that? Ta-da! So you can see, no shadow. You can see the black didn't sink this time. It's just swirling around. Much, much better. I approve. So these, now that I know that these are good, that looks good. Could have gone with more black. That looks good. That looks good. The gold flake's really nice too. I switched to a darker gold flake on this one because the one that I used on the other set was a little too yellow as well. I have like a bin filled with little containers of gold flake. Oh, it's really cool. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like came out like a staggered kind of swirl, like a ribbon going through. Yeah, resin's fun. Resin's fun. My wife made me a set of dice for Father's Day, like, gosh, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. she like went out and found molds on Etsy and bought, you know, a container of resin at Michael's and whoops, and made me a set of dice and put lilacs in them. And they're gorgeous and I love them. But she was like, yeah, and I figured, you know, you could keep the molds and maybe make some dice and it might be a fun little hobby for you. And fast forward 6 years, I've got like, I make my own molds. I have my own masters. I have like, I have a little dice factory here in the basement. But that's me in a nutshell. That's how I operate. I have a really hard time half-assing things, but that's ADHD. Like when I find something that gives me that dopamine rush or oxytocin or whatever, I'm like, follow it, do it until you hate it. But oh, your phone keeps freezing. Well, warm it up. Much better. Those look great. So that's that for that. Hyperfixate. That's my middle name. You know, there's two kinds of ADHD. There's more than that, but like there's the attention deficit, right, where you can't pay attention, and then there's the hyperfixation, the HD. And I am the latter. I am able to pay attention to things, but when I hyperfixate, I go all in. I like lose myself. One of the things I talk about is you lose your sense of time, where, you know, the example is it's like, how long have you been doing that? And sometimes I literally, I don't know. Like I have, you know, especially with video games, which is why I don't play a lot of video games anymore. It used to be, you know, when I didn't have kids and responsibilities like I do now, like I would have a day off and I'd like get up, take a shower, make breakfast, sit on the couch, fire up my PlayStation, and then look over and it was dark. You know, like I didn't eat lunch, I didn't eat dinner, 14 hours had gone by. I had to pee really bad and like I need to manage myself. Fallout was one of the games. Hey, Emma, how's Sacramento treating you? Without. I need more votes. With. God damn it, people. Cliff makes a good point, though. Without blood. I think by default, that might be the deciding factor. If the votes are even, that'll definitely tip it. One less step to make it slightly easier for me. Oh yeah, days. I would lose to games. Days. Fallout 3, Fallout 4, the Borderlands games, I would lose days to them. The Witcher 3. I think I played The Witcher 3 like 12 hours a day for weeks. Crazy. What else? There were games where I'd play it through and then immediately go back and play it through again. I didn't get into New Vegas. I didn't like it for some reason. I couldn't tell you what I didn't like about it, but I don't know. I played it, got to Vegas, started doing stuff in the city, and then something else came out, and that was the end of it. I never went back. I never finished New Vegas. I liked 4 because 4 is set in Boston, and I'm like 40 minutes from Boston right now. So it's fun because it's like when they're talking about, oh, this, you know, T stop, this train stop, da 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 da, like I've been there, like I've taken the T from there. Yeah, it gets janky. You know, okay, like it's bad. Like Leah, my wife, is kind of like, "What you doing?" And I'm like, "What? Hold on." Like like the brain just locks on, which helps me when I'm writing a book, right? Because like once I get the plot in my head and I'm excited and it's fun, and I get into the groove and I find the, you know, the muse or whatever, I can churn out pages and pages and pages and pages really fast. But then like if something pulls that hyperfixation away, it's really hard to get the freighter back on course. And I say freighter because that's how it feels. Like it feels like you're moving this juggernaut effort over, and you know, boats that big don't turn in the sea, right? They just keep going. And it's like that. It's really tough. Like I went off on dice a couple of times where I would pour like 2 or 3 sets a day, like I would have all of my molds, cooking something. And what happened is like you create these raw castings, right, that don't have numbering or lettering, and they need finishing, right? They need to be like polished and shined, whatever. The Last of Us game's fantastic. I played the first one through twice. I have not played the second one. But like you get them to this point, and then you have to finish them, right? And the finishing is where the actual labor time comes in, right? Like mixing the resin and pouring it for a set of dice, it could be like 3 or 4 minutes. Like it's not that long. They have to sit in the pressure pot for 24 hours to cure and to push all the air out so you get nice crystal clear dice. But the finishing process for a single set of dice could be an hour or two per set. And depending upon how many dice and how many kinds of dice, and the more sides on a dice, the more potential work it can be, right? Because you have to paint the numbers, right? So the numbers actually are visible. So a 4-sided die, you're just whop, wipe, whop, wipe, whop, wipe, whop, done, right? It takes you 30 seconds to number it. But on one of these 20-sided dice where there's 20 numbers, you have to do that process 5 times, and it's still only 1 die. So the finishing process is where the labor comes in. Oh yeah. A lot of people have ADHD and don't realize it. I was only diagnosed with it when I was 44. And when I sat down with a psychiatrist and was like talking about some of the issues that I've been having with like attention and like, stuff, which I had always attributed to just being like tired or busy or overwhelmed with whatever, she was like, do you do this every once in a while? And I'm like, I do that constantly. Okay, do you ever struggle with this? Yes. Are you able to do these things easily or hard? Those are all easy for me, and those are hard for me. And she's like, okay, so you have what we call ADHD. And when she started to explain like all the different ways that ADHD can show up in your life, and how we as human beings can be so versatile in adapting to our own deficiencies, I didn't realize that I was doing things to counteract it my entire life. Like the way I organize things, the way I cross off stuff off lists, those are all coping skills that I have created over 40 years to manage my ADHD without really knowing that I was trying to manage a neurological deficit. And it's crazy, like so many things. They have like I forget what the exact phrase is called, but it's like task blindness, and that's the attention deficit thing, right? Where like I will walk by a problem 1,000 times and look at it 1,000 times, but not register that I need to do anything, but I know it's there, right? So like like the big example would be like something's on the floor, like something got knocked off a table and fell on the floor, and takes literally 3 seconds to bend over, pick it up, and put it on a table, done, right? I will walk by that thing that fell 50 times without bothering to bend over to pick it up, because it's just not what my brain is focused on at the moment. And somebody will be like, hey, can you pick that up? Yep, sure, no problem, pick it up, done. But my brain literally is so on track, and that's a feature of it. Yep, forgetting to cook. Also, the problem with snacky foods and ADHD is those high calorie, sugary, carby foods give you the dopamine and stimulation that your brain craves, right? So, you sit down to eat a plate of vegetables and it's like nutritious and delicious, but it's not the same as mowing down on an entire bag of Doritos. Your brain really likes them Doritos. You're diagnosed. Yeah, I don't think they call it juvenile or adult anymore. I think it's just ADHD. High functioning autistic people are amazing. Like the way their brains can function is just some next level stuff. Like it really does feel like evolution. Like they, now that we know that it's not really like this social death sentence that it used to be, now it's like, they can, if they get help early on and invest in the help, they can become socially really quite capable, and you don't even notice the deficits really. And then their brain has that ability to like really and truly completely focus on something and do like amazing stuff with it. Yeah, the meds that fix it, there's like 4 or 5 meds that can address ADHD, and they all have different effects on you. And some of them, like the side effects aren't worth it. And some of them, they're great. I happen to take Ritalin, and it's perfect for me. Like, Ritalin is essentially like microdosing meth, right? Like you're literally like putting a little bit of cocaine in your brain. But what happens is it's like on a regular person who's like, let's say, flatlined during the day, their neurological activity is normal, right? They get ups and downs and ups and downs. Regular person does cocaine, they go zing, right? They start doing this, right? An ADHD person's, neurological profile is already this, right? When you give them a stimulant, instead of making the spikes go higher, it brings the troughs up. So instead of having these like massive ups and downs of attention and mania and whatnot, it brings them up. So there isn't as much fluctuation, and it doesn't feel like the back and forth. So instead of getting hyper and crazy and coked out, you actually get mellow. Like you focus, you're fine. And finding which one of those meds actually does, the leveling for you takes time. It's a process. Doritos, man. Cool Ranch Doritos. I'll eat a whole truck of them. Yeah, it doesn't go away. You just adapt. Dexedrine. I've never heard of Dexedrine. Coffee helps, which, that's one of the things that I self-medicated on. Like I would drink 2 pots of coffee a day to get that stimulant, the caffeine stimulant, to function. And on days where I didn't get a coffee, like not only would I get like caffeine headaches and be grumpy, but like I couldn't function, and just attributed it to, oh, I'm tired. But no, it turns out I was self-medicating a stimulant. It's also why a lot of people who do ADHD and smoke weed feel like they're helping themselves, because the weed takes away the anxiety that the spikes do, but it doesn't actually make you more functional. In fact, it makes it worse. And when people who smoke and also have ADHD get a stimulant and actually feel what happens when their brain level's off, it's like magic. Good for you. All right. I should probably jump off here and do some functional work. But this has been fun. We got the weekend coming up. We get the kid's birthday. We're going to do some crazy fun stuff. Hopefully I can get this cover thing sorted out today and get some proof sorted. It would be really nice to get them ordered today so they can make them over the weekend and ship them Monday, Tuesday, so I can greenlight it as soon as possible, but we'll see what happens. All right, everybody, thanks for hanging out. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I hope you had a little bit of fun while I did a little bit of work. And I'll see you guys around. So appreciate ya. Talk to you later.